Alright guys, so we are making progress on the KFX450R, but it's not going as fast as I would like. I have a lot of projects I'm working on, other videos I'm putting out obviously, so I'm sure you'll see those. But I'm going to go ahead and show you where we're at. I'm going to show you the poor man's way of doing bearing transfers from one case to another, and yeah, let's just jump into it. Alright, so starting off, I think it's important to note that your cases need to already be split. I did this in one of my prior videos. You don't have to do this, but I like to be as careful as I can here, and I took a piece of cardboard out and marked where all the bearings go and the matching screws and tabs that hold them in, and set them in accordingly as I pull them out. After that, we took all the bearing seals off that were still in the case. If you haven't done that yet, definitely make sure you get those off.
Earlier. Wow, that one came right off.
In the next step, you want to set your oven anywhere from 250 to 300 degrees from what I've seen online, and then set your cases on the cooking sheet in a manner that the bearings will fall straight onto the cooking sheet if they slide out due to the heat, which is pretty nice when they just fall right out. So just throw it in there and give it 20 minutes. After waiting, I pulled it out of the oven and set her down, and quickly realized that the dowel pins were still in the way. So if you do this, I would definitely recommend trying to get those out first. They were kind of stuck in there, and I ended up having to apply more heat with the torch and then wiggling it out. But they both came out fine. But if you do this, I would recommend getting those out first so that you don't have to put it back in the oven and then you know, wait again. So take those out first if you can. If not, use the heat to get them out. It might have been something that actually helped me. So just a thought. After that, just put your oven mitts on and give her a good tap on a piece of wood or 2x4s, and just keep hitting her until you hear them drop out. Just make sure that you don't hit a bearing. You want to make sure that if one falls out, you grab it, especially if you're going to be reusing them. So that's what I did, and it came out pretty good. Now, unfortunately, this case had 3 needle bearings in it that needed to come out, and you have to have a blind puller for this. There's really no way around this other than buying new bearings to put in there. So I opted to pull these, but unfortunately it did not go very well. I ended up breaking one of the 2 for the shift shaft, and after that I just decided that I'm just going to buy new needle bearings for the shift shaft and the other one on here. So this part didn't go very smooth for me, but yeah, if you're doing the poor man's route, it'd be cheaper to just buy the bearings than to buy a puller and try and reuse them, especially if it's not going to go smooth. So just something to think about.
Alright, I got all the little screws out with their little holders on the bearings. We're gonna flip this baby over and put her inside the oven again. And this one's much easier. They're all bearings, no needle bearings, so I think this one will go smooth.
And this side did actually go much better. This one went pretty much flawlessly. I think I got all of them out without any trouble. So on to the next step.
Okay, I haven't actually shown anybody the brand new OEM cases that came with it. Right here, you got genuine parts and the part number for the matching cases. And so we have both sides here sealed in grease, which is just beautiful. I believe we're working on this one second. I'm not going to open this one up until later. But we're going to start on the harder case first here. And take a look, make sure everything looks good. But this was the reason I bought this quad, was the fact that it came with this $500 set of brand new OEM cases. Unfortunately, we're doing the poor man's route, and we are sticking the old bearings in the new cases, which is not recommended, but in order for this deal to even make profit, it's pretty much the only way I can do it. Now at this point, I realized there was a breather hose fitting here that I hadn't taken into account, and I tried to get it off, but it was not coming off, so I decided I'm just going to order that and have to put it on later. Now on to the fun part, getting these bearings in. I went ahead and just wiped down the inside to make sure there was no burrs or anything metal that would get caught on the bearing, because it is a new case. Sometimes there's little shavings. And then I took ATF, or automatic transmission fluid, and lightly put some on the inside and then put some on the bearing. And then what I ended up doing, or at least the poor man's route, is to use a block of wood or a softer wood like pine, and I think I used like a 1x4, and you just gently tap it, kind of work your way around. You want to make sure that the bearing stays flush, and kind of hit it on each side. And if it starts going too deep on one side, you obviously need to work it. The nice thing about using a soft wood is that you're never going to hit it hard enough that it's going to get lodged to the point that it won't come out or damage your case. And so sometimes when you use a press, if you get ever so slightly off, you start hurting things. And so I actually kind of like using the softer wood to just kind of work it in slowly. Now ideally you can use you could heat the case and then also put your bearings in the freezer over the night, but I kind of just want to get this done, so I actually opted to take this route. But if you want to make it much easier, they'll almost slide in if you heat your case and put your bearings in the freezer. So yeah, that's what I did on each one. You can kind of see how I worked them in. It took a good bit of time, but they all ended up working out, at least on the main bearings. And then we moved on to the needle bearings, and things didn't go very smooth. I also think I should mention that it's very important that you thoroughly clean these bearings, since we're reusing them from the old cases. I mostly use carb cleaner, but if you want to use some type of parts cleaner to really get them clean, that would be ideal. But yeah, I mostly just used carb cleaner, sprayed them down really well, let them dry, and then put the ATF on them. So this worked out pretty well for me. I think it came out pretty clean. Now on to the unfortunate part. The needle bearings didn't go so smooth for me. I opted to use this rounded bolt head because I was lacking my tools from the barn, and unfortunately when I was putting in the second bearing, I damaged the bearing and actually broke it inside of there, and it was pretty far in. So you'll see here in a bit, I actually break the top ring of it off. And yeah, you definitely want to use the correct socket size, or even better, the specific bearing presses. But yeah, unfortunately I'm gonna have to order more parts and get those out, so that I'm gonna be about another week behind now. So it is what it is. We just continued on from there and finished up the next needle bearing using a socket this time, and we got everything in. So all in all, it went pretty well, but I do have to fix those two needle bearings for the shift shaft. So yeah, that's how you get the bearings in and out. I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, we'll make some more progress. Pretty soon we'll be putting the engine back together and getting the first run. And yeah, if you stuck around this whole time, I appreciate it. If you could leave a like and a subscribe, it would mean a lot. But either way, I appreciate you guys. Take care.